played low attack. She scored 3 goals for the season. And, you know, the thing I have to say about Julia is that we were down a couple players, injuries, this thing, and, you know, there was a lot of different things going on sometimes. And I said, Julia, I need you, team needs you in the midfield today. No problem, got it. Never had a problem, but I mean, eventually she would ask, can I go back to low attack? And that's okay. But she did what she needed to do for the team, and she put the team first, and I really do appreciate that. Jeannie Dubé was another low attack player, did a terrific job down there, first experience with the A team, so learned a lot about set attack and showed a lot of growth and potential during the season. So, and Jeannie's not here? Okay, thanks for letting me know. All right, so I'd like to get on with the Coaches Award and the MVPs. First of all, the most improved player goes to Bridget Pansini. Yeah. And I was delighted to have an opportunity to coach Bridget. I hadn't really taught her since about 5th grade. I admired the way Bridget fought back from a pretty debilitating knee injury. She came onto the field and picked up the stick skills pretty quickly. She'd already been playing a bit, but found her voice and really led this team. And it was fun to see that progress throughout the course of the season. Thank you, Bridget. Thanks for sharing. Coaches Awards. I have 2 of them. First one goes to Joy Greitzer. As I said about Julia, you know what? Anything you needed, she's the type of kid that you can give her constructive feedback. She internalizes it, put me back out on the field, fixes it, and that is phenomenal for any coach to have. So thank you for that, Julia. Great job. Abby Andrews is my other. She gets the other coaches award. Abby started out the season, as I said, playing D-wing. She could play low defense. She could play anywhere. Wicked speed, aggressive style of play. Always good things to see. She had an injury that kept her out for 2 weeks, but she traveled with the team, stayed positive and supportive with everyone, not just me, but I think with her teammates, and I think her teammates can share that with you. Took stats for me, whatever needed to happen, happened, and I so appreciated that help and support of her teammates. And then last but not least, you got to have someone who can put the ball in the net, and certainly you heard me say it, Laura Mancini. So thank you all very much. Thank you guys.
Because of time, right? 18, we had a wonderful, fun season, and we were 5-4. We'll start with my only 6th grader, Alexa B. She has great natural softball ability. I look forward to having her back next year. She started outfield and or third base. Next, I'll go through my 8th graders. I had 5 of them, all wonderful. Gabby Ciccone, she was our starting shortstop, number 4 batter, most RBIs on the team. So very, very good player. Next, 8th grader, Rachel Dichter. There she is. Toughest position on the field, the catcher. Rachel was great, strong, powerful, very patient, led the team in most walks, had 12 of them on the season. Next, Amber Dugan. There's Amber. Amber, one of our outfielders, one of the kindest, most positive players I've ever coached. Didn't matter if she was playing or on the bench, always had something to say to anybody that came off the field or going on the field. So, love that. And my last 8th grader, Alexa Horowitz. Alexa, she was our starting short fielder and leadoff batter. Great athlete. She is going to get my coach's award, all right? The coach's award goes to that player that'll do anything for you despite of themselves. And she got on the mound and pitched when we needed her, when she knew maybe she couldn't. And all she did was smile. So Alexa gets my coach's award. Let's do a round of applause. My last 8th grader is Kate. And Kate was our starting first baseman. Surest glove. Coach Lieberman told me I had to put her at first, and he was absolutely right. Next, with my 7th graders, Lolly. She was one of our outfielders too. She played anywhere I asked of her, always had a smile, gave 100%. Next, Maddie Correa. Maddie was our starting third baseman, very versatile. She would go wherever, at any time, and I appreciated that from Maddie. Carrie, another 7th grader, was one of our outfielders, probably the fastest player on our team. Next, Sophie Hogg. Sophie started left field until she got a little banged up, but she's one of the best catchers of fly balls. Next, a newcomer to softball, Olivia Horwitz. Olivia started at second base, then she went to center field, then she went to left field. Always as a starter, great natural ability. Next, Davis. And Davis had a preseason injury, but she was our second baseman and developed into that. Confident infielder batter, great softball skills. And next, Rebecca. And Rebecca, see the smile, all right, tons of enthusiasm, desire, started in the outfield, made a double play. She gets my most improved play. Come up and get those hats. And then my last 7th grader, Noelle Zimmerman. Noelle, second-year starter on A team, was asked to play up on the upper school team. Couldn't because it's a contact sport, so we'll lose her next year. Phenomenal player, led the team in almost every statistical category. She was our MVP. She's a senior this year. She's been helping be my assistant coach, helping all of middle school softball the last 2 years. We do not want her to leave, but she did my scorebook, she did everything. We loved it, the girls loved her, and they all signed a team ball for it. And we have a couple little things to let us know.
Our B team softball was made up of all 6th graders, and a vast preponderance of these young ladies who never played softball before. Some of the other teams that we competed against didn't really believe that to be the case, because a very quick evolution was made for many of you in regard to how talented you were and how you were able to perform in games where you virtually always were playing against 7th and 8th graders. Our record was 4-1-1. The one loss was a 1-run loss. Actually, many of our wins were 1-run wins, which really, I think, speaks a lot in athletics to be able to win close games. A lot of you had had experience in a lot of other sports. You played softball before. You know who you are. And the reality is we had a tremendously successful season, and I think pretty clear that this is one of the best group of 6th grade props and softball players in my 18 years here at Baldwin. So a lot to be excited for my friend in the history department, Coach Banner. Sydney, I think this was your first experience, and you've got a lot of time, particularly when you're playing in the outfield. Good job. SP, right fielder, very, very productive swing. You know, the one thing I'll always remember is that game against Germantown Academy, that one little loss, when you came up and you hit a ball right over my head. I was the third base coach, and it almost knocked me out. It would have knocked me out. And the reality is that it went foul by about a 1/3 of an inch, and that would have been a winning hit. But I think you have some more winning hits in your in that bat of yours over the coming years, but more and more. Emma, you pitched, you played shortstop, you made everybody laugh every day, consistently. And as you move on, I think that one day, and 2, 3, 4 years from now, you'll be the varsity pitcher for the school one day with increased work and boy, it's all. Yes. Wow, you had a good time. I think my most memorable experience with you this year is when you put on that catcher's gear. That was really pretty cool. And we might have to sign you up for that next year because I'm not sure I'm going to be able to keep this year's catcher on the B team next year. So that may be your future. Scholar Ranchi, Olivia, you played second base every single game, and you were a rock over there. You were highly consistent and got rid of the ball quickly when it hit you. you, and you just had a really good experience. And it's very comforting for a coach to have somebody that they know is just going to always be there, and your hitting improved, and you got a couple hits to the outfield as the season went on. Caroline, you are, to be honest, along with Emma, is one of the two who really hadn't quite a bit of softball before, and it was pretty evident. And I don't know how I managed to keep you up the 18, but whatever I did, I have to remember, because you're going to play a lot of softball over the years. Red tail. Boy, the other teams get very confused when they hear me yelling red tail during the game. They think like, somebody's going to be taking off the field like a chipmunk or something like that. You had a really great year, and particularly that game at Abington Friends at the end of the year, you had a humongous hit that really allowed us to have a nice lead towards the end of the game. And I think you'll remember that. I remember that smile with that when you were on second base. I think you remember that too. You had a lot of people thinking you were like a ringer. People at the other schools said, why is she on a B team? And it's really because, not because you really played before, because I know you hadn't, but you just have an enormous amount of natural talent, and also fun to coach. Between Nitty Week and all the things we did together, it was pretty amazing to be able to hang out with you and watch you become a softball star. Emma, you too. You were part of that group. Everybody thought, what is she doing on a B team? That arm of yours, and that smile. And the cool helmet that you had too. I like that helmet. You had an amazing first season. I know you had never played before, and you were a little afraid. You didn't even come out the first day or two. And then you sort of said, well, maybe I can do this, and you did it, and you became the starter on the team, and the number 2 hitter. Great experience, and I'm going to have fun watching you playing some more softball. And Jazzy, the girl who couldn't catch the ball in the beginning of the game, that's pretty amazing. And really, the shortcut to being able to play softball and get the playing time is to be going to be the catcher. And I was looking for a catcher, and you said, I'll do it. And by the end of the year, you were catching the ball pretty much every time. And, your future is unlimited as long as you want to keep playing. LOL, left field, you were there every game. Every single game you were out there catching fly balls. Great year. And you also hit the ball in the outfield 2 times in those last practices. That's pretty neat. This is a 4-1-1 team. That's pretty good for a bunch of 6th graders playing against all the kids. Very difficult for awards, but I can only give 3, and here they are. The most improved player, probably the easiest of the 3 to give, and that's Jazzy. Jazzy had really never played before, and she gets a hat because she's going to be playing a lot more softball over the years. And I think she had a good time. Did you have a good time? Yes. I think you did too. And the most valuable player is very hard because either of these 2 next girls who are going to receive awards could have been the particular of this award, the winner of this award. The most valuable player is, in some circles, known as the Grand Slam Kid. But she hit at least 3 Grand Slams this season, which is pretty amazing. The base is loaded, and she just hit the ball. That ball at Hill School, or at Montgomery School, I think it's still going. Fair Hair, you're the most valuable player. And finally, somebody who equally was eligible to be the most valuable player, but to me, there's just something about someone who, if you're a coach and you say, run through that wall, and they say, well, how hard? And Caroline's like that, because she pitched, she played shortstop, and she would have done anything. And the reality is that, she's just a phenomenal athlete on a lot of levels, and I'm glad that I got to work with you. Caroline, you're
Well, before we leave, I got a couple more girls. I believe Rachel might still be a vet. She participated on our upper school track team this year. Rachel. And all